Welcome, everybody. We're going to get started here. Thank you for being here today. I'm Andy Rayum, the mayor of the City of Bothell, and I'm excited to welcome you to celebrate another major step in the Bothell downtown revitalization, completion of the Multiway Boulevard. We're accomplishing so much in Bothell right now, from preserving open space and cleaning up the environment and making downtown a more walkable, vibrant place to live, shop, and work. Our program today is fairly short, starting with my remarks, then our guest from Washington State Transportation Improvement Board, Ashley Probart, will provide some comments. Then we'll cut the ribbon, officially opening the new access lane. And then finally we will have, besides the cookies, we will have a mini parade of vehicles that will go down to open up the side road. So first, recognition, I'd like to recognize a few people. I'd like to see a show of hands of folks who live or work nearby, or those who use Bothell Way every day to get to work, school, or shopping. Yeah, that's about everybody. So we feel your pain. It's been, having a road under construction is a hard thing, but you just have to persevere, and now it's over. So now we get to enjoy the benefit of having to drive through a construction site for the last, I don't even know how long, couple of years almost. I did bring my security detail here, so you guys don't mess with me. These guys are just ferocious. These are my kids. I'd also like to recognize a few elected officials who are here to join us today. Please raise your hand when your name's called, though. So, Senator Guy Palumbo. There he is. Representative Shelley Clova. There she is. Representative Derek Stanford, the best-dressed representative. And from the Bothell City Council, we have the Deputy Mayor, Davina Dewar. There she is. She's really short, but she's right there. Oops, sorry, bud. Councilmember Agnew. There he is. James McNeil, he called me on my way here. He's here in spirit. He wanted me to let you guys know that. And then Councilmember Spivey. There he is. All right, so projects like this become reality through hard work of many staff members, consultants, and contractors. I'd like to recognize the people who do the hard work day in, day out to build this project. Please raise your hand when you hear your name or company so we can recognize you. Let's see, so staff, we have Aaron Lenhart, the Public Works Director, also the Acting Assistant City Manager. Eddie Lowe, the Public Works Deputy Director. We have Ryan Roberts, Project Engineer for Phase 2. There he is, he's over there. Let's see, Young Cheng Zhu, Project Engineer for Phase 2. We have Duta Bhutia, Project Manager for Phase 1. Just if everybody recalls, Phase 1 was that access road over there. Chris Behrens, the Senior Construction Inspector. And we have Joe Celano. He's also a Senior Construction Inspector. Next we have Pertit with their sub-consultant HBB and HWA Geosciences. You guys here? There we go. Rip. Over there. Thank you. Contractors, Interwest Construction, Johansson Excavating, KLB Construction, and a handful of subcontractors. They didn't give me your names. All right. Thank you. And then we have the construction administration consultants, which I have no idea what that means, but KBA, Parametrics, Blue Line Group, and Carzan. Crazen, sorry. Then we have interagency coordination, Tim Roth with Snohomish County. Are you here, Tim? No, he's not. We'll clap for him anyways. We're looking forward to these lights actually all operating in sync. Isn't that going to be nice? Thanks also to everyone who made this event possible today, including the drivers of our mini parade. Their names are noted on your program. Let's have a big round of applause for everyone. I love these scripts, by the way. They're great. Okay, so the Multiway Boulevard is an innovative design, fairly new in Washington State, but you can find them in Europe, California, and the East Coast. It knits together the new part of our downtown on the west side of Bothell Way with our historic downtown Main Street to the east. This project also transforms a century-old state route into a pedestrian-friendly environment, separating walkers and slower moving vehicles from arterial traffic and creating a transportation corridor that fits into our downtown rather than serving as a barrier. This project was envisioned more than a decade ago as part of the downtown plan with considerable public input. This is one of the largest public investments the city has made in downtown revitalization, just after the Crossroads project, City Hall, and I believe Horse Creek was actually more than this project too. So, Multiway Boulevard project was made possible by a very generous grant from the Washington State Transportation Improvement Board, for which we are very grateful. On that note, I'd like to introduce the Executive Director of the Transportation Improvement Board, Mr. Ashley Probart.
Well, thank you, Mr. Mayor. What I'd like to do is I'm going to give about a 10-second overview on what the Transportation Improvement Board is, and then fortunately and unfortunately for you all, I'm going to wax poetic about this project because I've actually been touching it off and on for over a decade. So the Transportation Improvement Board, we're a state agency. We're funded by about 3 cents the state gas tax. And we focus on both small communities and urban communities in a variety of categories. And that translates into about $200 million a biennium in terms of funding for projects. So that's basically what we're about. And what I would say specific to this project is a couple of things. We have various categories, and one's called growth and development. And in 2015, this project was our #1 ranked project in that category. And what it's designed to do is synchronize urban projects at the same time that you have development like this coming on board. So you don't have the development and have the choke point. Rather, it harmonizes so you have strong traffic or transportation and a workable system. So to me, that's kind of the exciting part. But the other exciting part is this is really the genesis of 10 years ago of the local infrastructure financing tool, or LIFT. And that tax subsidy has allowed the design for this project to come forward. And I think many of you know there's a tax credit affiliated with that. And I was with some of your predecessors, meaning Representative Erickson and Terry Bachulo, where these were lines on a map. So to see this project come from a vision to actual fruition is pretty darn exciting. And I'd like to congratulate you, Mr. Mayor, and the rest of the city for staying the course on this. I can tell you of the other LIFT projects, many of them are still on hold. So I think that's a credit to the city to keeping that up and sticking with that vision. And related to that, you've already mentioned it, but also a big thank you to your staff of Eddie and Aaron for doing what they do and keeping this going. And I'd be remiss in not thanking the legislature who not only funds us but has supported this. And I saw Senator McAuliffe was here, and I know she's been part of this. And a quick aside, which she may not even remember, but when I was legislative staff in transportation, we'd had 10 years of no movement on a transportation package, and it finally came time for the big vote. Senator McAuliffe stood up and said, "I've been waiting 10 years to take this vote to help our community." So I want to give her a big shout out for that leadership of moving forward on that front. And the last thing I'll do before we talk about the project for just another second or two is Representative Eriks, who isn't here today, you might not have known this, but this project was literally on life support about 7 years ago. And he sat down with me and said, "How do we make this work?" And this was in a prior position when I was with Association of Cities. And in a 24-hour period, we wrote the budget proviso to give this project a stay of execution, get it through the House, off the House floor, voted through the Senate, and then on the governor's desk in about a 48-hour period with a couple days to go. And I can tell you that, and Senator McAuliffe can validate it, I can count on my hand and have fingers left over on how rare an opportunity that is. So I think you guys have had the benefit of legislative leadership, but it also started with your community pushing to make sure that this happened. So I feel like we're the cherry on top for Transportation Improvement Board. We have about $5 million in this project. We also have the Main Street project where we have funding in it. And as Mr. Armstrong, my chief staff person here, has informed me, you guys have been kind of proportionally favorable to TIB because of what you do, and we're happy to be a partner. So thank you for the opportunity to be here. Like I said, we're thrilled to see this project coming along, and I can't wait to see the next phase in the development of the City of Bothell. So again, thank you for your time on behalf of Transportation Improvement Board. Oh, and I'm still new as the director, so I almost failed in the tradition, Mr. Mayor, of we have a plaque for you.
Thank you.
And you and Aaron and Eddie will have to fight for which wall it goes on inside City Hall. So, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hold on.
Thanks again.
Oh, you can see it. I'm taking this thing home. Okay, so elected officials, please come up here and join me to cut the ribbon.
Ready?